Alright.
Hello and welcome to the RWBY podcast. We're talking about Volume 5, Episode 8 is already here. I am Santa's little helper, Mediocrity 4.
It's me, high-powered, returning from his Thanksgiving food coma, finally. And man, the future does look good. I only wish I could have missed... Well, I know I was going to say, I didn't... Last episode was good, but this is definitely a nice treat in comparison to what we've had for the last, what? Three episodes? Yep.
Last week, I was able to brag about being right about Ozpin sucking. This week, I'm able to brag about Blake being best girl, or not Blake, sorry, Weiss being being best. Oh god, that was the worst intro I've ever done. All right, so last week,
no, it's not.
I was right. Last week, right about Ozpin. This week, right about Weiss being best girl. However, I do have to eat crow though because Blake was in this episode, and this is the best episode out of the last 4 or 5. So, but Oztard wasn't in it, and that helped a lot. So, I'm dude. What the heck? Also, the wine's already getting to me.
Oh no! There's an autistic
Hello? Have you played Sonic Forces yet? It's a good game, I swear.
No, it's not.
No, it's really not.
It really isn't. It really isn't. Get out of here, Chris Chan.
Oh my god.
Fastest thing alive. Also fastest thing.
I want to know how long he's had that hat for.
Also, Sonic holds the world record for going from cool to dated.
Hey, you leave me alone. I think I'm the only one here who actually likes Sonic games.
Oh god,
I liked the first 2.
I'm just
maybe
thinking,
3, and Knuckles.
My mind is immediately going to all Mr. Metacore's Deviants videos because it always, no matter what terrible fetish he goes down into,
there's Sonic fanfiction of it.
Somehow there's Sonic artwork of that terrible fetish.
Oh my lord.
And I'm staring at my pistol right now. And it's like, you can end it right now. And I'm like, no. I gotta get to the end of this volume first.
In other news, EA seems to have set a record for fastest fastest stock losing in a video game company.
Oh
Thankfully.
my goodness.
Well, I mean, they only lost
They
like
deserve
what?
it.
I mean, they deserve it. But then again, the amount of money that they lost, the amount of money that they lost is, I don't want to say it's chump change, but it's not like they're freaking, like.
I mean, let's be honest here. It's EA. We all knew they were going to drop the ball. That it was like only a matter of time before they dropped the ball again.
So
that's true.
Here's the thing with that whole thing is, I feel that EA is going to ruin it for everyone. Because okay, just imagine how much these big gaming companies like market strategy will have to change if, like, for example, in the United States, the federal gambling commissions consider loot boxes gambling.
Oh, I know, that's the thing. Yeah, they might have just fucked everybody over by getting the government more involved in video games, which is very much not what we want right now.
Razorfish made an excellent video about how the government was not even necessary in this entire scenario because, guess what? Star Wars Battlefront 2 sold like cancer.
Yeah, well, I could definitely see EA losing their Disney pulling the rights once it expires.
Yeah,
or that because I don't think they could. I don't think they could preemptively pull the. I don't want to say Disney could preemptively pull the rights.
And it's not just because of Battlefront 2. It's also because EA closed down Visceral Studios when they were in the middle of making what we assume was Star Wars 1313.
Which was basically what?
Uncharted in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think, because if I remember correctly, someone leaked some documents where they were like trying to pitch like 1314 or whatever it was, or 1313. And then someone in the boardroom was like, so how is this going to make money like FIFA or our UFC game? Which, if you want to talk about like, I don't like, well, I disagree with Mr. Jimquisition's politics, but he's generally pretty on point whenever it comes to a lot of video game stuff.
Yeah, that's why I say I don't like Jim Sterling by himself.
He's only on point when he's not guilty of it. Like, when he's guilty of something, he'll, like, backtrack and try to defend it. Like, you can always tell, like, what kind of shenaniganery he's done by...
Sock, you're doing this to me, okay? This podcast is not supported by Lone Star Beer or DX Racer. I wish it was, though.
Or McDonald's.
That's why I said I don't watch Jim Sterling's videos, but he's actually extremely entertaining on the Co-optional podcast. That's my position on Jim Sterling.
But and I mean, whenever it comes to all that, I mean, we're just in a very interesting time in gaming. Like for example, like in RWBY, some characters chose their path down the crossroads of life, which may or may not end up so well for them.
Or for you Avatar, the Last Airbender fans, the Crossroads of Destiny.
Oh wait, I think Robert needs to introduce himself because we kind of went off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It is okay. I was not going to be able to top Sock. I'm Robert though.
Hello.
I swear to God, this video's gonna we're gonna somehow trigger the wrong audience, i.e. the Sonic fandom, and it's gonna be bad for us.
Don't worry about it.
I am part of the Sonic fandom. What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it, High Power. We're not popular.
I don't think the Sonic fandom ever takes itself seriously. I think it's all just one big in-joke at this point.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
they've been replaced by the Steven Universe fandom.
Well, no, the Steven Universe fandom
and the what's that? And the Rick and Morty fandom.
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, Rick and Morty.
I like Steven Universe. I'm not a fan of Rick and Morty. I'm not a fan of
the internet used to really kind of hate the RWBY fandom. And like the Rick and Morty fans and the fucking Steven Universe fans and all those people, they've taken like all of the focus away from us. So thanks for being dumbasses, guys.
All right, so
see, High Powered, you told me to not be rude to other RWBY fandom members, but I'm not. I'm being rude to other fandoms instead.
I said not to be. I said to keep the trash talking of other RWBY YouTubers down to a minimum.
Okay, well, so far I'm good on that.
So
I'm gonna try to behave.
So
this episode, the last episode, I said it was the best episode out of the last 3 or 4. This one is actually the first good episode since, what was it, episode 4, I think?
Episode 3, and this was probably the best Blake episode we've had since Volume 2.
Yeah.
Honestly, ever, yeah.
In a long time, definitely in a long time.
Because not to sound like a hipster, even though I totally have the hipster beard and the hipster hat. I kind of always hated Blake. From the word
go. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, I'll give you credit. You hated Blake before I did. You definitely did hate Blake before I did. Your fedora definitely proves that. Actually, no. Sorry. That's actually not a fedora. That is definitely a trilby.
No,
it's a fact.
I do have a fedora though. It's I have like no leg room in this in the way my workstation is right now, so I can't actually get out of this chair. Otherwise I'd show it. Yes, I am trapped in here.
I will not stand for this. I can't stand in the first place, but that's beside the point.
I do not exist right now. I do not exist outside these walls.
Okay, so
I do not exist from the waist down either. So I may or may not be wearing pants.
So this is the 1,000-foot view of this episode. So basically, the episode opens up with a morning talk and Nice Weiss letting in on the roam. Between basically the team's kind of just like, oh man, this is some crazy stuff we've gotten into. Man, it sure is weird to be the main characters in an anime not anime show. And then they're like, yeah man, there's a whole bunch of crazy weird shit going on right now. And then it leads into Yang being like, oh well, no, is it Weiss? No, RWBY is like, oh, I wish Blake was here.
Yeah,
and then
like, oh.
And then Weiss is like, no, that shitty kitty can go away.
Well, no, it was Yang.
That was Yang. That was Yang. Yang's the mad one. Which not to say how fucking happy I am that they made her mad. Because how long have I been saying that Blake has to be, or that Yang has to be pissed at Blake?
And there was, here's the thing, the other thing too,
we'll have to wait to see if they follow through with that, though.
Yeah, well, we had
that's my one negative about this episode. My one negative is that as awesome as Blake Blake is never awesome. As not hateable as Blake was this episode, and as as fantastic of a character Weiss is right now, we'll go into that more. I worry that her talking to Yang will mean that Yang won't still be mad at Blake when they see each other again.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I'm glad at least she was mad. At the end of the day, I'd rather have this than nothing and her just be happy, because that's what I expected of Miles and Carrie. But I'm glad that's not what... At least we're not getting that. I still want her to still be kind of mad, though.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but there was at no point in Volume 4 that we even got any sort of inclination of Yang's opinion of Blake. Like, so this was just all assumed. Really, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first time any character other than people within Blake's plot have mentioned Blake since the end of Volume 3.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth, actually? That's a scary concept, too.
That
like,
is
all this stuff happened and no one was like, man, hey, where's Blake been? Or, like, you think Weiss would have been like, man, why did I get a freaking, email or a letter from Blake or something like that? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Someone linked the image of Blake eating tuna.
The awkward tuna face. So, funny caption, yes. Sock is guilty of doing this. But Sock is guilty of doing it in a funny manner.
Yeah, so, then we get a nice freezer burn conversation, which, if there's one thing I like about this volume right now, is the freezer burn is just like, it's primo quality good. It's some good stuff. I've been converted.
I don't ship it at all. I still don't ship it at all, but because that actually feels like a friendship, I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, friends can scissor, okay? There's nothing wrong with two female friends wanting to go na. So I mean.
By the way, high powered. So far, how happy are you that the brown anime waifu guard chick at the Belladonna house has not died yet?
Well, she's MIA, so I'm assuming she's alive.
She's MIA. I'm just saying, but she hasn't been shot yet. So are you happy about that?
I'm very happy.
Because I'm not gonna lie, that's the first thing when we got to that scene that I was thinking about. I was like, oh man, they better not kill another brown anime waifu girl. Hyper's gonna be pissed, and even I'm gonna be pissed a little bit.
Yeah. You've got red hair. You're a
this
is starting to feel less like a coincidence.
So yeah, I will say this though. Yang's voice acting was actually pretty good this episode. I actually probably would say it's one of the better instances of her voice acting this entire volume. Like, for this volume.
Wasn't it Barbara or Aaron who said that like this volume was the hardest for them to voice act as?
I think it was Barb. Maybe? I don't know.
I think
Someone will correct us.
Aaron.
Someone will correct us in the comments.
Yeah.
I don't know. Aaron seems like she's been phoning it in more and more with each volume.
Mm.
Who? Barb or Aaron?
Aaron. Barb's gotten Barb has never been. She hasn't, to this point, ever had an excellent line delivery or scene. But a lot of it's been passable or at least effective. Like good enough. It's good enough.
She didn't have to set a character.
A lot of it's been good enough.
She basically just had to talk and recite the lines in Volume 1, so that's why the voice acting's there now.
Yeah, Volume 1 Yang might as well not have even existed.
Barb, I'll give credit. Well, actually, Volume 1 Yang would almost have been better off not existing, but let's not get into that right now. Because Volume 1 Jean would have been better if Volume 1 Jean didn't exist. But
Jean had more screen time than Yang.
Yeah, but
we know.
I'll give Barbara credit because she's never phoned it in. It never feels like she's phoning it in. She might not be super talented at it, but she's at least trying. I feel like she's giving effort, and so that makes it more enjoyable. Whereas Erin's gone from playing a character who sounds bored to sounding bored because she's playing a bored character.
Yeah.
And Lindsay continues to be amazing.
Yep.
Weiss's voice actor is damn good too. Also,
she's
gotten better, I think.
Well,
yeah, Everly's been getting better.
I feel like Weiss, her voice actress, Kara, hasn't improved that much. She's just always been. I feel kind of the same about Lindsay too. Like
it's like a steady incline.
At least by halfway through them recording Volume 1, they hit their stride and they've been pretty on point ever since.
Yeah, that's true. I've never heard any lines by Kara where it was just like, oh wow, that was pathetic. Well, actually, I guess that recent line of "You're very obnoxious" kind of felt.
You're very obnoxious.
I laughed at that.
That I don't know. I kind of laughed, but it felt a little like she might have been phoning that one in. But that's the only one I can really remember.
I kind of felt like that was supposed to be done that way, but you know.
I'm gonna sound really stupid whenever I'm about to say. What does phoned in mean?
It means so
fire up a Skype call.
Well, no, phoned in is I believe it comes from radio, where like higher profile voice actors, like Orson Welles, just as an example, would literally call the radio station to record their lines, and they would record the phone call, and it was usually like really lazy, really unrehearsed or whatever. They'd do like one take and be done. It basically
means they're not even trying.
But it's come to signify that they're not even trying. They're not putting in the effort. They're not doing the multiple takes, which is kind of required to get a really good line delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know Vic, he doesn't like live anywhere close to the station, but he still like does like multiple takes of a said scene because he doesn't know what the scene's going on. He just says like he has to go like I go or He just has to make so many different like
efforts.
Yeah. Well, also he's extremely talented. He's very he's known to be very professional.
Like a little anecdotal story
in the industry. Yeah, he's even known to be specifically professional.
Yeah.
A little anecdotal story. Arguably one of the greatest actors in general ever, Jack Nicholson. He requires his directors to give him like 20 takes, and he'll say it differently every single time. He'll say each line in 20 completely different ways, and then just take the best one.
Yeah, because he actually has 20 different ways of saying something. Yeah, that's how good he is.
Because
oh, geez, no wonder he and I wonder how well he and Stanley Kubrick got along. Holy crap!
Oh, like freaking magic!
It's like you want 20 takes? Perfect! I want 100.
Oh, you want more takes? I want more takes! Yay!
What did poor Shelley Duvall's like, I just want to go home.
Yeah, and everybody else on set is shooting themselves.
Pretty
All right,
much.
so I'm gonna have to bring this back down.
Sorry. Yeah.
So then it cuts to we're jumping around a little bit.
Yeah,
so then we're in Blake's segment. Blake's segment is Ilya sticks a note to the balcony of Blake's home, and it's like, hey, I want to meet. And then Blake's like, okay. And then Blake goes to meet Ilya. Blake gets ambushed. Sun comes to save the day. And then there's a running gun battle at Blake's parents' house.
Don't forget the lesbian part.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
How could we ever forget that? It's not like,
we're not going to be able to forget it.
Oh, hey, you know what's a great idea? Is the character that can literally turn into a rainbow at like any time that character wants
to. Whose name means rainbow?
The gay is our supposed homosexual character. I mean,
to be fair, Tobias and
Carrie pretty much said it.
I did the same thing with Neon.
I mean, she could be the L, she could be the B. Like we don't know. And then Blake's just sitting there, like, staring at her. It's like, I'm sorry. It's like, I was just being dicked down by massive bullcock by Adam. It's like, you had nothing to... You weren't... There was no competition here.
By the way, I'm totally looking forward to the fanfictions that come from this scene as well.
I'm looking forward to all of the art, too. I think Blake has the most characters Yeah, Blake has a lot of
when she's the most insufferable character.
Well, considering who gets shipped with her, Blake or Adam, Ilya, Sun.
Hey, Sun's actually seems like he's a good guy. Like the biggest, like I said, as of right now, the biggest reason why I ship
Blake and Adam deserve each other.
I ship. I mean, I'm kind of leaning toward that, but that's just kind of cruel. Like, but I think I kind of the biggest reason right now I ship Bumblebee over Black Sun is that Sun genuinely deserves better than Blake right now. He does. Like as of right now, where their characters are at, he deserves a better person than Blake. Yeah. So. And also, Michael as a voice actor deserves better than Aaron as a voice actor right now. So,
we get introduced to some new mooks.
Better.
Yeah, so we have alongside Batman, we have we have sexy anime Spider-Gwen too. Also.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider does.
I was gonna call her Shelob, but I mean, okay, we can.
Yeah,
oh my god, I was not even thinking of Shelob. Yep. Oh, especially that stupid.
Shelob was originally a woman or some kind, wasn't she?
No. Shelob's like a demonic entity or something, so she could basically turn. It can turn itself into whatever it chooses to be.
Yeah, it's in the new Shadow of Mordor, the new Shadow of Mordor game where they made her into like this sexy anime girl. It was really dumb.
I also liked whoever the voice actor.
I heard a lot of bad things about Shadow of Mordor. Okay.
I like the sexy anime voice that
fun game, but if you're a Lord of the Rings fan,
her name's like
that's why it's literally you can't see it right now, but there's literally a 1,000-foot pole that I have it like it's at bay.
If you care about like the lore or history of Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings, Shadow of Mordor like just teabags it nonstop.
Yeah, and I'm not okay with that.
Like when I first saw that character, I was like, ooh, wait.
Yeah, her name is Trifa.
And they're also making that prequel trilogy too. Whereas I don't know how I feel about that either, to be honest. Because
getting back to RWBY and Spider-Gwen over here, I believe her name is Trifa.
Trifa. Any idea what that means?
Nope.
Nope.
Like any spider name that
I did not have time to do like research on the names.
I looked it up. All I got was some picture of like a Catholic cleric who was apparently also a fascist and a neo-Nazi or something like that. I don't think they're related.
How is that spelled? Trifari?
No, it's Trifa.
Trifa.
And then some leopard spotted.
He doesn't even have a name.
High-powered searching it on 4chan.
I'm Googling it right now.
Oh, but we already Googled it. That's why.
I normally will fire up RWBY code too, also, and go there. But so let's get into the breaking downs of all this stuff. So we're just gonna talk about the RWBY part first, and then we'll go into the we'll do all that in one go, and then we'll do it all Blake's part. So basically, both of these scenes are cut up into two parts.
Yeah,
and this was a good episode. Like my only complaint with this episode is that we didn't get any sort of like I would have been fine with just a teaser of the Bandit Clan stuff, but we didn't get any Bandit Clan. Like that's really the only complaint I can levy against this episode.
The good news is, in my opinion, I'm actually okay with it because the good news is that I feel like next episode we're gonna get the continuation of the assassination fight, and we're going to get the fight between the Bandit Clan and Team
the Chaos Syndicate.
Yeah, next episode is probably going to be very action heavy. Yeah.
So
that's if they're fighting.
If that works out well, like they're doing all of that in that one episode, I'm okay with not getting the Bandit Clan this episode.
Yeah,
that's the way I would say it.
Yeah. So basically, the conversation starts. So there's really not a whole. I don't want to say there's a whole lot to talk about. I feel that it's good that
more exposition, more stuff that we could have gotten last episode, or the episode before that, or the episode before that.
So before we could have gotten it earlier, but we're getting it now.
Although it is cute that Yang
It's-
booped
okay,
RWBY
so-
with her hair.
Yeah,
As much as it works,
and
I
they
feel like
look
how
at her-
okay,
I
so,
remember how Ruby takes her coffee.
okay, so, and I kind of tweeted stuff like this back and forth with Fat Man Falling. Like, within the confines of a single episode, a lot of these exposition scenes are fine, but when you watch these back to back, when you like watch it on the DVD or Blu-ray, or when you binge watch it for the finale, this is basically episode 5, 6, 7, and then a good chunk of 8 straight of nothing but exposition.
Yeah.
I've
had this one guy on RWBY and Beyond saying like, "Oh no, but we get to, look back and see the entire show as a whole." He was specifically talking about episode 5 at the time, but you're gonna see that this was all really good stuff. I'm like, no, I don't think we
Episode 5
are.
was pointless. It's still pointless. You could have just absolutely skipped it.
Yeah, it's like you literally could have just had like last episode and then, or like the last half of episode 6. And then you could have like combined episodes 6 and 7, and then had this episode, and nothing of value would have been lost, stuff like that. But
yeah. And you could have easily cut some fat and gotten this back down to 12 episodes instead of the 14 that we're getting.
I was gonna say
there's no reason for them to stretch this out to 14 episodes, except to say that, hey, we're making the volume longer now. Yay, improvement. No, that's not an improvement. That's the same as saying, oh, because this guy has a higher HP bar means that he's more difficult.
Yeah.
But there's more fire on the ground for people to stand in and complain that boss fights are hard. But, okay, so I feel this is so in my humble opinion, I feel you could hypercut everything that was done in these this stretch of the last like 4 episodes.
4 episodes, yeah, I say 4.
You could pretty much cut it in half.
You could hypercut all 4 episodes together into just 2 actual 15-minute.
You can do that with any 4 episodes of RWBY, really. But
okay, this is true.
Here's the difference, though. And going back to Volume 4, which a lot of people still complain about the pacing or whatever.
It was good.
With Volume 4, I wish there was more. With Volume 4, I wish there was more scenes of them just fighting monsters, more scenes of Weiss in her house before the concert, more scenes where Blake and Sana are like maybe investigating, maybe actually looking into the White Fang's presence,
or just going on a date.
More scenes of Yang recovering. Like they could have added more stuff to Volume 4 and made it even better. With this, they're adding those scenes in, but it's actually worse. Like you need to
there's a
Volume
bunch of
5 needs to
padding,
get cut. Like Volume 5 needs a lot of this stuff to have been cut.
Yeah.
And never animated.
Yeah, a lot of this feels like padding, like the worst kind of filler, essentially, where it's nothing is actually added.
That's not in this particular episode. Where it's still just really salty about
this
episode 5.
Was still pretty solid. Like the conversation between, RWBY.
I'm just saying, like this scene is going to be following up basically the scene from last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically we get a good conversation between Weiss and Yang, and I actually like that it's Weiss coming to Yang confiding in Weiss. I actually really did like that. I'm kind of glad that RWBY wasn't the one to come in, which I don't know, like I honestly was expecting Weiss to be the one to talk to Yang first about it, especially whenever it comes to the subject of Blake, because Blake had because Weiss
she was the first she was the first one to confront Blake about her issues. You know?
Yeah. So there's that, and I feel that let's be completely honest here. So Blake is well within her reason to be upset with Blake. Blake could have easily
Yang is okay to be. It's okay for Yang to be upset.
Okay, I've only had 2 beers. I obviously need a third.
Hey, dude, cat got your tongue?
Anyway,
I'm going to get a beer.
But yes, Blake was well with
Yang is
Yang was well within her rights to be mad at Blake. Damn you all.
And not only that, like I said earlier, it was required. Like if she wasn't, I think I definitely would have had a problem with it, and it's just would have been poor writing if she wasn't. And I'm glad she's upset for the reason she is upset, because it's the same reason that she should be upset. That's like writing wise, that's what I would have done as well. It's the line where she says like, "What if I needed her there for me?" Like that was the line where I was like, "Thank you." That's what. I'm
glad it's Weiss. I'm not sure if the writers are aware of this, of the parallels that Weiss and Blake have.
Yeah,
and I don't even think Weiss is aware of that. We don't know how much they know about Blake's backstory, and what Weiss says, it makes it seem like she doesn't know that she's the Princess of Menagerie.
They should know all of it, but I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Which that was my big complaint about finding out about Blake's backstory, is that it really did not seem like she told her team, because if she did, then they would assume that's where she was.
Yeah. So, like, here, I actually want her parents to survive, because whenever they all meet back up into each other, Blake's like, oh yeah, those are my folks. And then for some reason, like, oh god, it'd be hilarious.
And then Weiss is just all like, I take it back, Yang, she's a lousy bitch! So I take it back, you are nothing like me!
So here's the thing, though, like, so...
Like, sorry,
there's a part of me that's like, okay, like, Blake, you didn't, like, just write a letter saying, like, hey, I'm going home to my family or anything, but, I mean, they're just like, whatever. This is just me being, like, nitpicky. It's like, why didn't Blake, write a letter to anyone? And it honestly didn't even sound like, other than RWBY and Yang, it didn't even sound like...
Actually, not to defend Blake, but I'm going to have to here. writing a letter would have defeated the purpose of why she was running in the first place.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
I wish she would have told them like beforehand, or if she would have told them about like where her parents are from and like what kind of standing they have within the Faunus community, then they would have just assumed that after the fall of Beacon, she would go home, because what did Weiss do? She went home. What did RWBY and Yang do? They went home. What did Jean do? He probably went home until RWBY called him.
He was sitting there waiting. It's like, I gotta get that sweet summer rose.
And what did Red and Nora do?
Probably with Jean.
They don't have
they don't have Sean.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's my headcanon that in the months that RWBY was recovering, Ren and Nora were staying at Jean's house.
Yeah, same here.
Oh my god, how sad would it have been if they were just like alone again, like just like out somewhere? They had to like stay at a hotel or something.
I think actually they were, because
Nora has to prostitute herself again to make ends meet.
No, don't go there.
I'm with you on this one. I'm with you on this one.
Fucking with Renora. What that means. No fucking with Renora.
I don't think they're gonna go. They would go that dark.
But anyway, it's like
I've been watching.
A lot of people were complaining that it wasn't RWBY talking to Yang, but like,
I don't know what RWBY would have said. I don't think. I'm sure I know what RWBY would have said, but I don't think it would have worked. I don't think.
She wouldn't have known what to do. She had no idea what the fuck to do.
Listened to Yang. She just didn't come in there like, "Hey, you need to get over yourself" or something like that. She listened to what Yang had to say.
RWBY's not great with people. Weiss is a little better and stuff. Like RWBY
still
is
which, if you watch Volume 1, you'd be like, "What the?"
Did Duke just censor himself?
again, proving my point that Weiss is best girl, but not only best girl, but right now best character. Period. Because what's great is in the scene, she does do a very good job of not overly defending Blake, but she does give some perspective, and she doesn't whine and bitch about her own family too much. She makes her points about her shitty life, not to complain, but to say, like, maybe Blake has
sympathy.
Well, yeah, because Yang has, vanilla-flavored loneliness, and then Weiss has, sparkly cherry-flavored loneliness. Yeah. I mean, it's the same drink, but they've got a little something different.
I would not mind drinking Weiss's cherry-flavored loneliness.
Okay.
The magnitude of that joke dawned on Robert. He's like, that's pretty funny. Oh, that's really funny.
Well, no, it's because I was about to say, because of what I was about to say, and I was going to sound terrible, is I want to see Whitley's loneliness. But really, like, I do. Oh no, this
now
is
you can't say that. I don't change the connotation of that word.
No offense, Robert. I really don't want to see a scene of Whitley jerking off of his own dad.
No, Whitley just hires. Whitley just brings in like some faunus like secretary or something, or just hires a prostitute. I mean, he's got all this money.
Yeah, that might be true.
Probably.
That's a good point.
But like, in all seriousness, like, I don't know. Maybe this is me wanting my headcanon about Whitley having it even worse, or having it just as bad, if not worse, than Weiss and stuff like that. But I do still want to see like Whitley's point of view and stuff like that. See him in a more sympathetic light. Sometimes.
Oh, I agree. I would definitely like to see that. And I think
that's something I'd like to see is for him to just be like, you think you were lonely? What, have you seen what I went through? But yeah.
I feel it's more like, okay, I'm top dog now, but like the shit I have to put up with now because I'm top dog, I kind of don't want this anymore. Like, you can have
maybe, yeah.
I would like to do it for Adam. They're not going to do it for Whitley. I'm just going to say that right now.
Yeah, for every.
Let me dream.
I hope they do. I hope because here's the reason why. I think Saki make a good point. Unfortunately, I think there's a good chance you'd be right. The one thing that gives me hope, though, is I don't think they're going to touch on Whitley until a couple more. They're not really going to get into him until a couple seasons from now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll have learned their lesson by then. Yeah. And with the mistakes they made with Adam, like if they did it right now, I'd agree with you. If they just make him a douchebag.
I wouldn't even bet that we'll.
But they don't have any. But they don't have any chameleon lesbians to replace Whitley with, so...
No, they don't. They don't, exactly.
Not yet.
I was going to say, if there's anything this episode did, it confirms that Ilya has replaced Adam's character arc.
It definitely feels like it. Unless he dies...
This confirms
unless he dies at the end of this volume, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, so to praise Weiss more... What I like is that she's growing as a person. She's actually trying to be help other people. Like she's putting that into practice now that she's found. Like she's trying to be a good person. She got them coffee. She goes to comfort Yang. Like her character arc is like just continuing to come full circle on her being a better person. But I like that they still did leave touches of her personality in there. She makes fun of RWBY. She criticizes RWBY.
I will spill this coffee on you.
Yeah, I will spill this coffee on you. I am going to criticize. I am going to criticize.
I put in blasphemous amounts of cream and sugar. By the way, I loved that callback to the badge and the bird, and also
like
she comes in with coffee, remembers how RWBY takes it. Like good. Yeah. That was a nice moment. I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that was a callback done right. Callback should be done sparingly and for thematic appropriateness. Otherwise you get into like Red vs. Blue seasons 11 through 13, which is just all callbacks all the time with no substance.
New jokes. No new jokes.
Freckles was funny though, but yes, season 11 specifically was not as good. 12 was the best of that arc.
So do we have anything really else to say about the RWBY parts?
No, Weiss is
hold on, let me think.
Like Yang as a she's been controlling her temper, but like we've noticed like it's starting to come back. Like we thought like she gotten a hold of her temper a little bit and reined it in. But
again,
we're still seeing those giant spikes of like.
I'm glad to see her shaking again. I hope that's still more PTSD hints. I hope that will show up again.
I'm waiting for someone to notice. Like I don't.
Honestly, what I'd love to see is Yang still mad at Blake, and I'd like to see something happen where like she kind of breaks down and Blake sees that happen, and
I want Blake to notice her like freaking out.
Yeah,
that would actually be a good grounds for like that to like just start repairing the relationship.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, Rooster
Just
Teeth
be like,
needs to follow through with
I'm
this.
sorry that I did this, and then Yang's like, just like literally like as like that scene's going, there's just like the quotes from like Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's like, I feel the phantom pains in my limbs. I'm already a demon, Blake.
Because then Blake's tabby ass would have to actually apologize for once, and I'd like to see that.
Yep.
Yeah. Blake needs to apologize like she apologized. Did Blake actually apologize to Sun?
Yeah.
No, not really. Technically,
Well, I mean, she said sorry in Volume 3, but I mean...
Well, she needs to apologize by going, huh! So, I mean, you know.
She needs to actually say... She actually needs to say sorry.
Well, she could say sorry like that, too. I'd accept that as an apology any day of the week.
Well, considering that the show's not going to go there, let's assume that she has to
leave that to the
sorry.
fan animators.
Yeah.
Not to our knowledge, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It'll be on archive of our own at the end of by the end of the week.
One complaint I would have about the show as a whole is the fact that they're 18 years old and nobody makes dirty jokes or talks about sex or anything like that. It's
because
like,
it's PG.
I'm sorry, you guys were 18 once. I hear the shit you guys talk. Like, that's how every single human is.
Well, they have
Unless
to
you're
like a
like,
certain rating, I guess. Like it's like
yeah,
people
but it's like
are so
then
surprised.
make them younger. Then just make them younger.
I don't know.
You
People
know
were
what I
so
mean?
surprised, like when Tyrion went, "You bitch," and it's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
People
whole
are
fandom blew up. Oh god.
like,
Oh my gosh, you used the big boy
why
swear!
are you like censoring cursing? People are dead.
Yeah, that's dumb. Like people fucking cuss. Like, as an example, I wrote an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan fiction years and years ago, and Toph was
Hold on a
cussing.
second. Let me grab my gun real quick.
No, real quick. And I had
It was decent.
Toph was cussing her ass off, and somebody complained. It's like, I'm sorry, if she's 13 or 14 and she's mad about something, you see her personality. In real life, if you met, that's how she would be. I guarantee.
That's why I keep most of
I
my writing at a PG-13 level. Like, if it flies in a PG-13 movie, it flies in my fanfics.
Toph's an earthbender.
And then I convinced.
And then the just act is just like a hard R.
It is true that if Avatar: The Last Airbender was rated R, then Toph wearing her ass
Oh
off
yeah.
all the time.
All
She's
the
an
fucking
earthbender
time.
for a reason. She's a very
I'm blind, damn it!
I mean, I'm surprised that Avatar it crosses the line into PG territory enough.
Yeah,
It does. No, I mean, I don't blame them.
There's
I
some
don't blame them as
heavy-handed
much.
into.
Yeah, I mean, they were on Nickelodeon, so I don't blame them as much. They had to keep nice, and also they were just better. It's a better show, so I have less to complain about. Whereas with RWBY, it's like, because there's so much else to complain about. It's like, well, why did you at least do this? Like, it's dumb that they're trying to make. They'd be making just as much money. Trying to make it for a kid's audience is fucking stupid.
Well,
Parents these days suck. Parents these days suck anyway, and they'd let their kids watch it anyway.
I mean, the show's gonna progressively get more mature. It's just right now, like, they just don't want to like.
I wish it was.
It's kind of the general American thing where it's like,
I wish it would try doing what Harry Potter did with its slow burn descent into maturity.
Yeah, and
I think that's what they are trying to do, but it's a very but by
the time they were at that age, they were already like being very overt about it, like in books 5 and especially in 6 and 7, romance and feelings and that kind of stuff, like you could even call it like sexual desire, stuff like that, was a major point of the books, and it was incorporated extremely well. I mean, books 5 and 6 almost universally are considered the best Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
And they have both of those books have a lot of that in there, and it's not shoehorned, it's done properly. I mean, let's put it, I'll put it to you guys this way. If you guys were 18 years old, which the main cast are right now, and you knew two people like Ren and Nora, what's one of the first things you would say to them? First thing I would say is, why the fuck haven't you two boned yet? Why aren't you two together? Like, why is that not a topic?
Who says they haven't?
Why is Thor not pregnant?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not just that. That's just an example, but you could bring it up with a lot of characters.
Yeah.
So let's keep this back on.
Sorry. Yeah.
So
my bad.
Basically, so here's I'll say this right now about the Blake scene. if this was Volume 4, Blake, her ass would have been captured 12.5 different ways to Sunday. If this was Volume 4, Blake.
And with the setup, I would not have complained a whole lot.
Yeah. So okay,
if that's the route they went, I would not have complained a lot.
Yeah, no. If
just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's just because Blake still thinks that there is good in Ilya, and she doesn't know about the whole SantaCon thing, so it's believable that she would actually believe a letter like given to her by Ilya.
Yeah,
it's completely within reason for her. Like from her point of view, from a certain point of view.
I didn't have a problem with that.
I mean, she didn't really believe it because she had Sun like.
Well, yeah, I mean that shows that like she came prepared just in case.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, for all we know, she could have just said like even she could have actually believed Ilya and then brought Sun just in case. Hey, the White Fang don't take kindly to traitors, and they might try jumping both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the subtle thing that happened too. Also, is once Blake got done talking to Sun, and the scene cuts away. There's a rustling in the bushes as the scene ends, and that's obviously Ilya slinking away.
Yep.
Well, Ilya and Yuma left before Sun got there, or before Sun dropped down. Which, by the way, couple things. Why did Yuma have Ilya's weapon, and why wasn't it on his hip before he tossed it to her?
I think she was trying to act like she was. Yeah, I think she was trying to look like she was unarmed.
I get that, but it straight up was not there until the shot where he's actually like grabbing it.
We just need to chalk it up on the animation errors board.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chalk another one up to animators not communicating with each other, and then after that, like, what? So I'm gonna get down into kind of my big complaint with this episode, which is the White Fang being dumb
idiots. Yeah.
This is
general.
This is like James Bond villain bad here.
This is way worse than James Bond. This is worse than Dr. Evil.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so let's just take a grocery list of like how bad the operational planning is. It's like, so the person that you're
somehow Yuma did not notice the sun was also on the rooftop.
Correct. So also, yeah.
Which I want to see like that be in like the like in. If you're listening to this and you're still working on the abridge for this episode, I want you to have a scene where like Ilya and Blake are talking, and then you can hear like Sun and Yuma talking back and forth.
Yeah, just faintly in the distance. They're actually being being really friendly. It's like, oh hey, thanks for helping me out with that. It's like I never knew that. Oh great. It's like, oh hey, you have a good night too. Yeah, you too, buddy.
Just being all chummy. They're just like, hey man, how's it going? Oh hey, just hanging around. Oh cool. Yeah, same here. Cool. Oh hey, I gotta go. Okay, cool.
Are you waiting for your turn to come in? Yeah.
Wait.
Do you go in first? Do you go in first, or do I go in first? Or do we go at the same time?
Do we go at the same time? Okay, yeah. No, you go first.
Oh, you were friends with Ilya? Cool. Hey, yeah, we're gonna take it out. Oh, good luck with that.
No. No. It's like he's sitting there. No, it's like no. What would be even hilarious is like he says, like, yeah, man, dude, I have the hots for this chameleon chick. It's like, yeah, man, she's actually kind of cute. It's like that One Piece bodysuit doesn't leave a whole lot to the imagination.
Yeah.
I will say this. I actually do like the sneaking suit that the White Fang has everyone running around in. It's actually
I want this to be cool. Like an actual White Fang team with like Ilya, Yuma, Trifa, and then nameless goon who gets taken down in one hit. Which, by the way, that brings me to the next point, which is why do Ilya and Yuma just leave, and why does Yuma just vanish? Yeah. Like we don't actually see him walk off. It's just poof.
He's Batman.
Yeah, so like they have her pinned. You think that maybe that's the time to like that.
Or not leave
like,
her with the two goons. Like, actually, like...
like they have her... they have her confined. It's all... You think maybe you should, like, drug her or something? Knock her out? You know, just
shove a syringe full of chemicals into her neck.
And then, the thing is... and then when Sun drops down, then it becomes a fight. And then when Sun drops down, then it becomes a fight with, like, Blake and Sun. Like, they knock out the other two guys easily. But then it becomes, like, Blake and Sun versus Ilya and Yuma. You could have a really cool fight scene there, and it's kind of a race against time because Ilya and Yuma are trying to just hold them off long enough for the White Fang to initiate their plan, which brings me to the next point, which is why did they not wait for Blake to actually be out of the picture to attack the Belladonna stronghold? If Ilya and Yuma would have stayed there, it would have alleviated this because, like, hey, her capture isn't guaranteed now. You need to start fighting now, and that would have made the White Fang a little more desperate with the Belladonna stronghold because now the White Fang are actually racing against time because again, Blake's capture is not actually guaranteed. But they didn't do that. They did. And
also, Fennec and Corsac came in person for some reason.
They have no business being there. They have absolutely no business being there.
It's all like, well, if this doesn't work out, there's no
possible
your entire operation is screwed. So.
Yeah, there's no scenario in which the White Fang gained something positive from this, and a lot of it is because
it's kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer because I wanted more of like Blake, Ilya. Oh, if I say Blake and Ilya, I'd say Blake, Sun, and then Gira and Callie finding a way to foil the plan. Foiling the White Fang's plan in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Well, like any chances of them solving things diplomatically went out the window as soon as Sienna Khan died. But. Yeah.
So here's what I did like about this episode, and I think a few people brought this up on the Discord chat. So if you should really join our Discord if you can watch the episode whenever it comes out. Because it's really good conversations. So here's what I really did like, is that whenever Yuma lands on Blake is hurt. Like
that was great.
Yeah, you could tell.
You could tell that Blake was like out. Like Blake was like, I'm cooked. It's like I'm just gonna. That's like, oh, look at me, ha ha ha. Oh no, the SWAT team's here. Oh no, flashbangs and stun grenades. Oh fuck.
It's a good thing I had my aura on.
Yeah. Here's this. That's the other thing too. Also, it's like, aura makes no sense. It's like, speaking of aura, I guess all of the Royal Guard are just fucking normal goons.
Yeah,
I mean, normal guards.
Nobody uses aura in this episode. Somebody pretty much. Yeah, it's official. Aura is just code for plot armor.
Yeah, the White Fang people.
Hunters are
the White
literally
Fang people don't use their aura. The guards don't use their aura. Blake's aura just doesn't even factor in. Like, is she not good enough with her aura for it to just be second nature, like Ren was talking about?
Yeah.
Is she that bad?
It's like, is Jean better with aura than she is?
Well, with the way that it is now, like, you think people would actually be wearing like more armor and stuff, though, if this was the case. Even if they had aura, like you should John has his aura, and he wears basically like a plate chest piece and like shoulder guard.
Yeah, plate armor.
And I mean, like, even at the bare minimum, most people should be wearing like a plate that protects, like, like your like this part right here, where all like the really important bits are.
Yeah, like, the important bits, just the important bits.
Yeah, the important bits, and maybe like a cup too, also, if you want to reproduce. So, but like you think more people will be running around in armor, but that's just some nitpicky shit. So that's the one thing I really liked about this. Oh, we have another arachnid faunus. What's her name? Spider Gwen.
Spider. We talked about her.
The sexy anime voice Spider Gwen is in it, and she literally just was like, "Mass spider powers."
From my hand, because that's totally how spider webs work.
Spider-Man.
Don't spiders.
Spider-Man said.
Don't
spiders shoot them out of their butt? Yes.
Yeah, they basically shit out their webs.
Yes.
And they are not perfect webs when they fire either. They're just it's silk that they have to then mold with their legs into the webbing. Unless this
is
is
why
her
I agree
semblance,
with media
in which case, if she has her semblance,
this is why I agree with media that I hope this is her semblance. Yeah.
In which case, why doesn't she have aura? Why is she knocked out in a single punch?
Everyone just say this right now. Just for the Spider-Gwen part, just watch an anatomically correct Spider-Man on YouTube.
Oh, I've seen that.
That will ruin Spider-Man and then Spider-Gwen inside RWBY for you. Which I will say this: her voice.
I like Spider-Man too much to let him be ruined for me.
I'm not watching that. Definitely not going to watch that.
Her voice is literally sex. It was good. Here's the other thing. Like we then get into the part where it's like, so obviously Blake has learned her lesson. She's like, I'm not going to go talk to Blake. I'm not going to go talk to myself. I'm going to Blake's not going to talk to Ilya without some sort of backup, which is great.
Yeah.
And media is right. Where if Blake went by herself and got captured, like both ways, both of these like outcomes are fine. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about so. I feel a lot of people are going to misconstrue Ilya's jealousy of Blake choosing Adam over her as her reason for what she's doing. I feel it's just a symptom.
Maybe.
Well, she said it no, I was always this way. You just never noticed because you were too busy being up Adam's butt the entire time.
No. Having Adam inside Blake.
And that's kind of one of the kind of issues I have with the episode. One, by the way, good chance Bumblebee is completely fucked at this point. Watch the Bumblebee shippers try to claw their way back from this one. As a Bumblebee shipper, I don't really care that much anymore. As long as Blake apologizes to Sun, and then I'm okay with Black Sun.
See, my whole thing was
the problem with it though, to me, is because they're trying to make the point of Ilya saying, "This is already how I was. You just didn't notice." The way she kind of that she it was in love with her or something like that felt kind of forced and tacked on to me. That felt like they were doing it just to be like, yeah, here's the lesbian character. I actually would have preferred it if the slighted love was more of a part of it, because I agree with, I forget who said it, that really, or it was High Power said that didn't really have much to do with it. I would have preferred if it did have more to do with it, because it would have made more sense being there. Because she did give a full-on supervillain, almost a full-on supervillain speech. I was thinking, while that was happening, it's like, aren't you supposed to be going to kill people right now? This is taking too long.
Before anyone else goes, Stock has something to say, and then we'll get back on to what Dude was saying.
I was just I was just going to go with the whole thing with Dude was talking about with the Bumblebee thing. It's my whole thing with the Bumblebee over Black Sun was the mere fact is that Sun had no character. He was literally just Jean with a monkey tail. But now that he's gotten some character development, you can kind of see you can see his good points. I'm leaning more towards the Black Sun. But it wasn't anything important.
I've always been fine with Black Sun from the beginning because I liked Sun. I've always liked Sun. My problem with Black Sun is Blake. Yeah, if that makes sense. So
it makes sense. It's just for me, it was Sun. Sun and Neptune are just one of my characters. Neptune's still on my shit list. Let that be known. Neptune is still on my shit list.
Neptune hasn't been seen since that one episode in Volume 3 where all he did was yell Weiss.
Yeah.
Is he supposed to be a minstrel?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it is I do feel I don't know. This whole speech from Ilya, her logic is so flawed, it hurts. I don't know. She thinks fear is going to, stamps out hatred. It's all basic history or sociology, psychology, basic logic will tell you that fear is just another version of hate, Ilya. It's like,
Yeah, that was
Here leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate.
But I don't have,
yeah,
I don't
like,
have a specific problem with that per se.
yeah, it just seems weird, but
I don't have a problem with the character being wrong.
fair enough.
I don't know if the writers realize that she's wrong, but
yeah, if a character's going to be dumb, it might as well be a villain.
Yeah, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say and hope that they do know what's going on and that she does. That the writers do know that she's wrong and they're just writing her that way. And I'm okay if that's. And I'll just go with that, and I'm okay with that. That's
even
what I'm.
Ilya, the way she reacted when Blake was like, look where that's gotten you.
And that's another thing that I'm wondering about those that. So she's all like, look at the results, and Blake has that line of, look where it, look where it has gotten you. It's like,
I was considering it, Ilya, but I guess not now. You took it off the table.
Well, no, because he was like, look where it has gotten you. I was like, what do you where has it gotten, or what do you what's the implication there? Like, I don't know. That line had me kind of confused.
Who already said back in Volume 1 that Adam's methods have been getting results?
Well, kind of, yeah. So she was like, it got results, but it wasn't the. Yeah, but people weren't respecting us; they were fearing us and stuff like that. But yeah, she had that weird line where she was all like, look where it's gotten you, and I was all, and Ilya has that moment. I was like, where has it gotten her? I don't understand what you're trying to say here.
I didn't get this. Feels like one of those old extended, like this conversation feels like one of those like extended universe Star Wars conversations where it's like the apprentice or the Jedi apprentice or the Jedi, like it's where it's like vice versa, either the apprentice or the master. One falls to the dark side and the other one has to like go out and kill the other. Like it honestly feels like that conversation. Like it really does.
Kind of. But it's like I feel like there needs to be more context. Like, where has it gotten Ilya? I'm confused.
Basically, she's becoming the people she hates.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I
guess, but
when she says "look where it's gotten you," I think it means that I think she's referring to their friendship. It's like, look where it's gotten you. I was your best friend, and now you don't. Now you're betraying me. So who do you have now? Like, what do you? That's my perspective. And again, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm defending something Blake said because I actually, in my opinion, I actually think
this was a solid Blake episode.
I actually think I see where Blake was coming from with that because she's saying, look where it's gotten you. Look what you're doing. Like she's saying, look what you're doing right now. You're betraying who was your best friend because given this actually makes that background scene, the trailer, the Blake trailer, much better.
This improves the Blake trailer.
This improves, and the Blake trailer improved this as a result.
Yes.
So gotta give Miles.
This episode improves a lot because, like we said, Volume 4 Blake would have gotten captured and stuff like that, and would have screwed up. So, and something I've been saying since we found out that this whole attack thing was going to happen and Blake was going to get captured and stuff like that. I've been saying, that this has rendered everything since Volume 4, Episode 8 pretty much pointless on Blake's side and stuff like that. But now, because we had that moment where, Sun got to give Blake a piece of his mind and say, you shouldn't be pushing us all out of it and you should be relying on us more. That now I can see how that led to this. So now it makes those episodes feel a little more, feel less unnecessary and stuff like that. So it improves those episodes too. So
they actually kind of planned this a little bit.
Yeah, there was actually some thought put into this. Yeah, and it wasn't, and it's not all just padding.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The line Blake said, I think made sense to me because they gave the background of no, we're friends. And even in this volume so far, it's been she believed in Ilya, and she was so she's basically saying look where it's gotten you. You don't even have me as a friend anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I feel like that line actually made sense, and I actually think I understand what Blake was saying. And God, I need some wine to wash that taste out of my mouth, but I stand by that.
And CJ is rubbing his nipples right now. I can just tell.
The dialogue does kind of run afoul of that kind of petty high school drama stuff, though.
I mean, there are only 18 years old.
Yeah.
Sorry for the course media. We just have to let it go at some point.
Yeah.
They are only 18. So
Yeah.
I mean,
why didn't you love me? Why, Blake?
You wrote the letters anonymous.
And then,
how did I know?
And then
You were my
what's his
best
name?
friend, but now I have new best friends, right, Yuma? Leave me out of this, please.
You're a lesbian ticket! Thought I had a chance.
I write most of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I deserve better than this.
So, and then it basically, it cuts to, so obviously Spider-Girl and Nameless Mook get fucking instantly just like fucking 1-2 punched.
What's the
He's got a mean right hook.
They got memed on.
Yeah, they got
By the way,
memed on.
a right hook that going frame by frame looks awkward.
They got spawn peaked super hard by
I have to say
Jaeger.
about the action in this episode, there's only like one really good action shot in this entire episode.
And is that with frickin'
You're going like
Gira throwing the guy into the wall?
Yeah,
No,
Gira just
no.
grabs him by his leg, was like, bah.
no, not even that. I'm talking about like the karate chop to the neck, where the dude's neck
Oh,
like
yeah.
does a
Judo
complete
chop!
90 degree, like his
Dude's
chin
like-
is over here. He's just
Yeah.
Fucking breaks his goddamn neck.
Yeah.
Hero was proving he's the king of the jungle right now.
You see,
Yeah.
here's another thing. This is
Can I say that I'm glad that Gira wasn't like some people theorized, and he was just the voice. But I say I'm actually glad that he's actually fucking killing people.
I mean, I thought it would be hilarious.
I would assume he's at least.
Just like whack whack.
I would
do still
assume
think it would have been funny if Kali wore the pants as a fighter, but yeah, this was good to see him fighting. There.
So here's my thing with like the whole seeing both Callie and Gira fight. So this is just me. This is me being like hyper nitpicky. I always hate it whenever I see like, oh look, we're all shooting each other, and we're literally just standing in an open field, shooting our guns at each other, and we're not even like aiming. We're holding the guns like this. We're like, look, we're shooting, and we're hitting things.
Yeah, shooting from the hip.
We're not aiming down the sights. We have sights.
Yeah.
We use these things.
Yeah. Yeah, most people do not actually shoot from the hip.
Yeah, as much as Call of Duty would like you to think otherwise. I mean, yeah, I'll agree that the shot of those two White Fang members that were just like standing in front of the fucking door shooting, was pretty bad.
They did some really dumb camera
I did
tricks.
notice that. I did notice that.
They tricked the camera into making it look like there were more guards on Gira's side, like fighting other White Fang mooks.
Yeah.
But then, as soon as the one dude gets shot, they all just kind of
disappeared.
Yeah,
so
like all the White Fang mooks, all the other guards just kind of like vanish, and then it's just down. And then it's just down to Gira versus the Fabulous Fox Brothers.
So here's another thing that this is just me being this is another me nitpick.
It's
and
okay.
it's like it feels like it's like whenever these people are getting hit by these energy blasts from these rifles, because in my mind all these dust weapons are just energy weapons. In my humble opinion, and they're just like, oh no, I got hit, and there's not like a puff of smoke, there's no blood. I mean, you know, there's none of that. They're just like, I've been hit. They're like Civil War reenactors whenever they get bored, and they're like, oh, they shot a volley at us. I'm just gonna fall over now.
That is not how. People do. Yeah, people do not throw their hands up in the air and do a spin when they get shot in real life.
No, I know people.
The one dude jumped in front of the bullet to block it for Gira. Like the final part of the guy shot. Okay. Yeah, he jumped in front of it.
Yeah, and so, yeah. As media's
my sister,
little brother,
no,
sister,
it was my sister.
Yeah, so I'm not
Like,
like
what's-
no, like I understand why they do it like they do it. It's kind of just like this is just like the normal thing. It's like whenever people die, they got it to be like all dramatic and stuff. It's like the freaking part in Tropic Thunder where freaking what's his name? Shit, I forget who he's
Ben
called.
Stiller's character?
No, not Ben. Oh yeah, it's Ben Stiller's who's just sitting there getting like shot up like 30 different times, and they're like, "Come on, man, you can make it. You can make it." Like as like he's continuing to get shot and then grenades are thrown at him. Like it's literally that. Like I understand why they do it.
I was like
There's
making
nothing
fun
wrong.
of. Oh, what movie was that making
It
fun
was
of?
probably
Apocalypse Now. It was making fun of
Apocalypse Now.
I don't know.
Because
Like,
no, the
what's
whole joke is that when Francis Ford Coppola was making Apocalypse Now, they called in an actual airstrike.
Yeah,
We're gonna film it, and they almost missed it, which would have cost them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
To
And in
reshoot.
Tropic Thunder, they
In Tropic
actually
Thunder,
do
they actually
miss
do
it.
miss it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm aware.
Did they miss it on purpose in Tropic Thunder?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
remember Tropic Thunder is like a movie within a movie within a movie.
Yeah, that's why I know.
I'm
That's
just
what I'm
the
saying.
dude
Like, so
acting like the
Yeah.
dude playing another dude.
disguised as another
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, disguised as
So
another
within the
dude.
within the context of the movie, no,
It's
they
an-
messed
it's
it.
an
They
accident.
messed up it. Yeah, it was an accident, and they messed up, and yeah,
Within the context
But
of the story.
in real life, they missed it
Yeah.
on X.
in the
It's on
actual
purpose.
No,
filming,
yeah.
yeah, they did it on purpose. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha. I just try
So,
to clarify that.
So, and I mean, I actually do kind of like how Gira is like, it literally does like the wrestling thing. It's like, okay, now I'm pissed, and he's like, it's like the wrestler whenever he like jumps into the cage.
I did
He's
start
like,
thinking
yeah.
of
Pulling,
Correct.
and he's like
Going off
pulling
the-
off his cloak or whatever. No, it feels like more of like a luchador thing where it's like
Yeah.
he hops
Yeah.
into the ring, throws off his cloak, and it's like, I'm ready to go now.
yep,
Oh, and speaking of lucha
and
Libre,
goes straight up Sabretooth. But yeah,
yeah, it goes straight up Sabretooth. I'm very okay with him not having a weapon. I want him and his arms to be the weapon.
yeah,
And also, I'll be real honest, I think the weapons that Finnick and Corsic have look really fucking stupid.
They
They
look
do.
like
I was
those
gonna say
toys.
They're
So does
they're like-
Alien.
They look like sex toys combined with those Bespin airships. I don't know why, but that's what it made me think of. And
yeah.
I thought the Bespin airships were a little bit dumb because they
Yeah.
were side by side.
We're gonna fabulous.
I'm
Fuck
curious
off.
if there's like
Weapons.
a story behind them basically having up, but I don't know. Like, I'm wondering if there's some sort of story there, but yeah, it's weird.
We are the
no,
fabulous.
because it feels like Ilya's weapon is like kind of like that. I don't want to say assassin, but it's like your rogue type of character. I mean, the weapon
It's
design
an
is very
electric whip.
similar between the two of them.
I swear to
between
God,
Finnick
Ilya's
and
weapon
Corsic.
was designed with fanfiction in mind.
Oh no!
That's the only reason why the weapon is what it is.
BDSM fanfic.
I was going for the fact that it fits her faunus feature because you know the way. But
Oh yeah, with the tongue goes. Yeah.
Well,
And
no,
then
that's Tyrion's excuse.
I
I still don't know what's up with Vernal's weapon, but
Vernal's weapon is a.
really
I-
dumb looking.
I don't even
a
wanna-
chakram, a chakram gun,
I
I,
don't
think
know.
is what they're called. I don't know. Yeah, her weapon is weird.
I just want a normal gun.
the
Wait, I already have one of those. It's
Ironwoods.
Ironwood.
Yeah.
gun, which
The gun
apparently
gun.
Sure.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
a rifle that like splits into a pair of pistols.
Oh, I just want Ren to be like shoves the two pistols together and then now it's a sub gun.
Yeah, it's like a submachine gun.
It's only
He
slightly
just
more
needs.
powerful.
Can he please just get new weapons? His weapons have been proven over countless
His
Countless
dad's
fights and
freaking
episodes
beatnik
that
knife was
they-
better.
that they
Yeah.
suck. His dad's knife has accomplished more for him, and also vegetables have accomplished more for him than his fucking weapons have.
Oh, that's
Freaking
hard.
That's
that-
the power of Vora,
That is not okay.
He's done
He
more
needs
damage
new
with the
weapons.
leaks than he has with those
Yeah.
things.
He
Yeah,
needs
that's
new
true.
weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just.
Or
it's
they just need to stop nerfing him.
So
Or-
Yeah,
here's
but then that'd be
morphing
kind of
him.
random. That'd be kind of random, though. So they need to just give him better weapons.
Maybe.
Because it's not. They're showing specifically the weapons aren't doing a good job.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needs better bullets.
Either way,
He's been shooting FMJs.
I don't know. It's my headcanon that like the effectiveness of like a dust round is also kind of dependent on the user's aura.
Yeah.
Like dust surface. Like I think the formula I used for my writings was dust surface area multiplied by aura units equals potency.
What about the other?
Equals fire
what about
potency.
like the? What about just like the Veil Soldiers or anything like that? Like what about
that's why they just have base freaking.
I'm pretty sure they've
dust
actually
stuff,
killed more
but
Grim with
whereas,
those
like,
things
RWBY,
than Ren.
But whereas like RWBY can like supercharge her a single dust shot to take off the head of a Beowulf with a single shot.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
And why Weiss can use like that much dust to create an entire like fireball that takes down a lancer.
Gotcha.
I don't know why I did this when I was talking about Weiss.
You have the
Sick
Yankee
hail.
license on.
I know
You have to
Nemesis
punch
Blood
things.
Red. I know
Hail
Nemesis.
Schnee!
I know Nemesis Blood Red
Hail
watches all my
Schnee.
stuff. So
Hell, Schnee.
Well, I was gonna say, watch as we get fucking content ID strike because of that.
He's
Oh,
just punching
man.
the air because he's got the ink bracelets on. Come on now.
So I mean, there's really like, there really isn't a whole lot much more to talk about this part. I mean, it just ends on like Blake and Son are running back to the house, and there's just a running gun battle at the house.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
Gira's not a happy camper.
Yeah, Gira goes full out and tucks him right before he gets murked. Pun not intended.
Well, no, I was gonna say Gira's.
But he had there was that weird, like actual animal sound that came from him. It wasn't just like,
Yeah.
oh, I've just.
it was a
like,
panther, I think, because
yeah,
I think he's supposed to be a panther.
yeah, he's Bagheera.
We're sure he's not a puma?
Don't you start.
See, that joke is only funny within the context of like
Only
they don't know-
people who
within
only
the
OG
within
Red
the-
versus Blue fans
No, it's
would
only funny
understand
within the
this.
context that Sarge doesn't know what a puma is.
Yeah.
Like that's
Stupid
what made that joke funny. Just saying, oh, like a puma.
I thought
is
it was
not
funny in Volume 2.
It was not funny in Volume 2.
Yeah,
I thought it was a nice callback, but anyway.
To a show that isn't RWBY.
Yeah.
Well, Ruby is red.
Oh man, so I mean, let's just get onto the.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to get into the theorizing part at this point, we're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, I think we can because this episode was for the most part very good. So there
I'm
isn't
so happy. I'm so
talk
happy
about
about
it.
I think the only thing we need to theorize about is
what the fuck's gonna happen?
what's
in the
going to
next
happen
episode?
about Blake.
Yeah.
Blake's plot line and how are they going to implement the bandit scene? Because that's still a cliffhanger left over from last week. I don't think we really need to theorize because I don't really think anything plot-wise happened in the Ranger segment or the RWBY segment.
I don't think there's anything worse.
It was just character development.
Yeah, other than them having.
It was just showing
finally,
that like Yang
being like,
is
we're
actually
leaving.
mad. Like Yang is actually mad. That's the only thing that got accomplished in that scene.
Yeah.
So I will
yeah,
speak
someone else
this
start.
right now for the record. I do think that all of the family that Gira and Callie will survive. I have a feeling maybe one of them might be injured in the process. Now, who knows how serious that injury would be, though. So it's only safe to assume that the longer that running gun battle happens at the White House, the quicker the city watch is going to become. This is another nitpick. I hate that they call it the police. Blake's like, let's call the police. It's like, no, just like City Watch or something like that.
Neighborhood Watch.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know they had police, but like 25% of me is like, there's police there. Are they really going to be on your side?
Yeah.
But they will.
Remember,
but 75% of me was like, "Oh my god! Finally, a TV show where they call the cops when normal people would call the cops."
Remember, I can't remember if it was like last week. I know I said on podcast before, but Hitchcock said about calling the police. It makes for a dull story. But in this context, it adds to the kind of like the race against time, and just further proves that Finnick and Corsac have no business being there, because what happens if the police come? What happens if the police are already there because they hear gunshots? Because apparently this whole city's supposed to be crowded, so
like now the
neighbors are probably
have to kill everyone that, like every single one of the witnesses. And I doubt they're gonna get to them all. So yeah, it's all like, congratulations, you guys have fucked up.
Oh god, it's gonna be like, hey, I've got evidence that that the White Fang assassinated the Belladonna family. And then a day later, they commit suicide by getting shot in the back of the head twice while overdosing on painkillers and hanging themselves and dropping a toaster into the bathtub.
That's a way to go.
While holding a laptop that may or may not have Hillary Clinton's emails.
Wow.
I had to. I
have a thing that like I have a thought that like maybe those police or whatever, air quotations, that they're probably just corrupt. Like most of them are actually under Finnick and Corsac.
The White Fang. Remember the White Fang goons show up and we're like, we are the police.
We are the. That would actually.
And then the band shows up and is like, we are the police.
Yeah, no joke. Like the police show up, they cuff freaking Finnick and Corsac. And then they're like, "Oh, is everything good?" And then, like, as they're like, "Oh, thanks for that," like all the other like the subordinates just open up on the family. Oh man, that would be
awesome.
Good. That's like
awesome.
Blake's like, I'm playing chess, and then Finnick and Corsac, it's like, jokes on you, I'm playing 5-dimensional intergalactic mahjong.
But apparently they're not, because they're there and have no business being there.
So here's an interesting conundrum that I have.
And then Ruby's gonna come in and trump them all because she's playing the.
So here's a thought that I have. This will be. I feel that this could actually be an interesting point. So let's just make the assumption here that let's assume that at the minimum, Finnick and Corsac are captured, and maybe even Ilya are captured. This then becomes the point where we're assuming Gira and Callie survive, be it injured or uninjured, that basically Gira has to then decide, it's like, what do I do with these people? Because obviously Finnick and Corsac are, well, I would consider them too dangerous to be left alive. Those are the type of people where they're like, oh no, they just, they broke their necks because they didn't get into the police car right. They just fell out of there. Oops. Like, those are the type of people that just need to be taken to the woods and shot and then left. So, I mean, it brings up the question, it's like, these people have, attacked me at my home in Phallus, at my home, and threatened my family. I feel that capital punishment is pretty reasonable at this point in time, which could potentially be I doubt it's going to be a plot point, but it's something that would be, in what would be a more mature show, something a good plot point to bring up, assuming Finnick and Corsac get captured, and maybe even Ilya.
Yeah. And then there's that whole like corrupt police thing to consider.
Yeah, if that's even a plot point, we don't even know. Which, if there's corrupt police officers in the pocket of the White Fang that's coming in as the backup, it would be interesting.
But no, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably not going to happen.
Mostly because the whole point of Finnick and Corsac doing what they've been doing this volume is that they're still trying to make it look like they're on Sienna Khan's side of the battle, because they're trying to keep people from knowing that Sienna Khan is already dead. And so, again, like I said this in my review, but people find out Sienna Khan's dead, and then Gira dies, like, right after that?
A week after, a few days after.
Yeah, it's gonna raise red flags, and the entire White Fang plot is gonna just implode. Like, there's Finnick and Corsac have no business being there.
They really don't.
Yeah. It's just like anything in the intelligence community. There's no such thing as a coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me mad.
I'll go along with that. Yeah, no, I'll go along with that. It is a problem. It is definitely a problem.
Yeah.
But this is just like severe what ifs. So let's talk about the Bandit Clan for a little bit, because it's understandable. Like, it's really like the question that.
Do we want to go around the horn and do like Blake's subplot, because you said your piece?
I was gonna say, if we're theorizing, shouldn't we go around the horn and we can each theorize about both things? Because that's what I would prefer to do. Like, I don't want to separate them, because I feel like it would be better if they flowed together.
Okay, so High Power, your opinion on the Bandit Clan then?
There's a part of me that feels like the whole Bandit Clan stuff's going to be anticlimactic, because they want to save the actual fighting stuff till the end, for the end of this volume.
Yeah,
we're getting close to there, though.
But I mean, like, the whole fight that we had of what was it? The Nuklave fight. The Nuklave fight was only one episode, right?
Yeah,
it was. But it was like a build up of like.
It was half an episode.
It's half an episode. That's true. It was only half an episode.
So I feel like they might be saving up I feel we'll get a fight of some kind, but I feel that there's gonna be they're saving everything for a big fight, because it feels like they're like, in Volume 4 they were avoiding conflict to a point, but in this volume it feels like they're really avoiding fights, especially between between people. Like two actual
Which
characters.
I'm fine with for a little bit, but this is an action show.
Yeah,
Why have we only had one, maybe two actual action scenes?
Yeah.
Like
we haven't had
now.
We haven't had a duel or anything of any kind between two characters.
Yeah.
We haven't had a team fight.
We had like 5 minutes of Weiss fighting a couple Lancers, and like 2 minutes of Yang beating up on half a dozen bandit goons, and then we got this.
Yeah, then we got Ruby and Oscar doing their training sequence, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
And then
that's probably why these
Sun.
It's like we've been all for them. Well, yeah, and it's like, we've been all for them, relying less on fight scenes and stuff like that. But at this point, it's like, you gotta get us up. You gotta give us something.
The best of this volume's fight scenes has been Weiss versus the Lancers, and even that has left a lot to be desired.
Volume 2, and we're in episode 8 now.
Yeah, that was in episode 2, and then Yang versus the Bandits was in episode 4. Again, like, we went episode 5, 6, 7, and most of 8 without any kind of action, any kind of progression, anything plot relevant happening, except for Yang and Weiss reuniting with RWBY. Like, that's the only bit of any kind of progression whatsoever we've gotten up to this point.
That's probably why these episodes are hard to take at times. Like, it's probably why this because. Like, just give us.
Probably why a lot of people's opinions on this volume, like we addressed this last week, but this volume, like Volume 4, got a lot of unnecessary flack. It was pretty solid throughout. This volume is getting even more flack, and it's way more deserving of the flack it's gotten than Volume 4 was.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'll go along with that completely.
Yeah, no, it's a very fair criticism.
Really hard to defend this. It's getting really hard to defend this volume as a whole. When I know, again, in the context of a single episode, the exposition works. But when we go back and watch the entire volume, it's gonna be 25,
this is gonna drag
25, 30 straight minutes of exposition.
Yeah.
That's why I say, this episode was the first episode of the last 4 that was actually legitimately good.
No joke.
This exposition I am happy to have, because
Yang
stuff was necessary. It was necessary to know that Yang's mad at Blake. And I would say it's necessary to see Weiss continue to grow as a person, and then also still.
It was not necessary for Ren. It was not necessary for Ren to be like, you have all grown, and this is how you've all grown, because if we don't spell it out, people aren't going to know, because we've done a terrible job at showing the actual progression of characters in this show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That was something. Yeah, that was pretty much what I was saying. Yeah, like what I said last week about how.
You definitely convinced me on that last because coming out of that episode, I was fine with that, and then you kind of like, you and then Fatman Falling also addressed that as a complaint, like, you guys are right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like the beginning of that last episode would have been fine if we hadn't had 2 episodes of basically nothing before that. Kind of the same thing with this episode. This episode is kind of brought down by the 3 episodes of basically nothing and Ozpin being a shitty character that we've gotten in the last.
It's kind of like following up Attack of the Clones with Revenge of the Sith. It's good, but it's not really enough yet.
Yeah, exactly.
This episode's going in the right direction, though.
Yes.
Yes, this was definitely a step in the right direction that we definitely needed. Yeah.
I want to keep in perspective here too, also, especially with volume 4.
Sock gets to speak.
Oh yeah, that's right. It sucks.
I clear the air for high power.
So just to keep in perspective here, so in Volume 3, the big fights that we had in Volume 3 were. We had the Geist fight. We had the Sea Dragon fight in Volume 4. Yes, we had the Tyrion fight, and then we had the Nuclave fight. We haven't even the only big fight that we've had is the Lancer Grim fight.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all we've had in this volume,
and we're more than halfway done with the volume.
Yeah. We are in the final. We are in the home. We're not. I don't want to say we're the home stretch, but we're like sitting on second base right now.
Yeah.
Like, and we're ready to run to third. Like,
we're leading off.
We are getting ready. Like within the next episode or 2, we will know how this volume is going to end. By the time we hit episode 10, we're going to be like, okay, we can make pretty sound predictions on where this volume's going to go.
Yeah.
So. They've got. I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't space for them to put in some more fights, but there's a very there's 3 types of RWBY was sold. A lot of people buy into RWBY for like 2 to 3 reasons. One of the big ones is all the fighting stuff, and especially in volumes 1 through 3, and especially in 1 through 2, whatever Monty was still around. That was a fair point. There's the people that are in it for all the waifus. I'm one of them. And then there's the people who are actually interested in the actual story. Mm-hmm. Which I'm also kind of one of those people too also. That's and awesome. Some of y'all here too are in that
I like all 3. I like all 3.
Yeah. No, and I like all 3 too also. But like what originally sold me on this was
I'm here for Renora at this point.
There's
not Renora, Weiss, Runkle Crow, and then attached to Weiss is Winter. That's literally if anything happens to like those characters in a stupid way, I might be out. Like I said, I haven't been excited to do this podcast until this episode. That's how bad the show's been lately. So
yeah, like that's all I'm here for. Like I'm glad that we've had this episode, and I hope every episode is of this quality for the rest of the volume. But even then, I feel bad because. No matter how amazing these next episodes are going to be, potentially,
those last 4 episodes still exist.
We're still like there is just a really, really bad spot for this volume.
Yeah,
and it lasted very long. Like if I tell people if I'm like, hey, watch volume 4, I would simply tell them as like you could skip this episode and just watch these episodes. Yeah. And if I had learned how to
maybe skip episode. No, I don't think you can actually skip an entire episode in Volume 4.
I actually don't think you can skip an episode of Volume 4 either.
Really
maybe episode 11.
No. Yeah, no, I mean a volume of this volume.
No, that had Weiss's escape. Never mind.
Yeah, you need Weiss's escape.
And also Yang taken off. So yeah, never mind. Yeah, no, you can't really skip any episode.
So in Volume 4. Let's fire up just so we can get ready to start getting into the final little bits of this. So let's do our predictions.
You already gave your predictions.
I didn't talk about the Bandit Clan though. Oh wait, no, I did say the Bandit Clan. It's going to be very anticlimactic. Like it's gonna be like maybe fucking Shady Man's gonna get a black eye or lose another tooth, and that's basically gonna be it. God damn it, the name's so stupid. Shady Man, like
it's still funny though. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I'll insult Miles and Carrie, I still find that I like Shady Man. It's kind of funny. I still find it funny.
So it's media's turn to go.
So I think Yura's gonna die. I don't think Blake and Sun are going to be able to arrive in time to save him. I think he's going to like get mortally wounded, have like the last words, do his like take action thing, and then I really hope Callie survives because Callie is the best character.
No Madonna.
There are no moms in this show except for her.
Well, then actually that would work.
Good moms in this show except for her,
because then she can legally change her name to Milf.
And then hopefully Blake takes advantage of this situation and drags all the white things.
Grand patriarch of the white Mistral.
No, it would be of Menagerie first of all, and no, but like drags all the white things' dirty laundry out. Like no, Finnick and Corsac straight up personally assassinated my dad.
Yeah, murdered my father. Yeah,
lies and whatever. Just again, White Fang gained nothing, no matter how this pans out. Anyway, this is more just what I want. So Blake's activeness within this part of the plot actually starts the White Fang to unravel and encourages people to actually sign their petition, and then they start heading to Mistral. Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom, in this case the Bandit Clan. I'm really worried that this initial fight scene, quote unquote, is going to be completely skipped.
Off screen.
Yeah, off screen. Like we're gonna like next time we see the Bandit Clan camp, Cinder's going to just be standing over a bunch of their bodies, and it's going to be down to Raven and Vernal.
As Vernal's getting bugged.
No, I don't think they'll do that.
No, they're not going to do that. I don't think this.
Cinder's going to try doing what she did with the White Fang, and I don't think it's going to work. Raven's going to portal Vernal out of there and into Ranger's hands, and then from there it's going to initiate the rest of the plot, which which might involve them kind of confronting Lionheart because he's the only other one who knew where the Bandit Clan camp was.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. So if let's assume that, let's say that Raven sacrifices. Okay, so we'll assume one of two options. So Raven tosses Vernal through the portal and doesn't make it through, or makes it through. It doesn't really matter. So let's say that Vernal is portaled to Pro and Yang, and thus Team Ranger, Orange, or whatever the hell we want to call it. This will then allow
it orange.
It's not orange. It's not what we want to call it. It is officially Ranger. So I'm gonna have to put my foot down on that.
So
Ranger we.
Yeah. So Vernal gets teleported to them. This then obviously brings up the point that the location of the Bandit Clan is given up in this. It involves them coming to Lionheart being like, hey, what's up? So this could potentially trigger. What I like about what media is saying here is this could make it to where Salem tells Hazel to tell Adam that I don't care what's going on, y'all need to go now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna force the White Fang's hand, for better or for worse, if that's the case.
Like, I know you're not ready yet, but you have to go now.
Yes. So I'm sorry about stopping their media though, but that's just what came.
Yeah, I mean that's about. I just want the plot to happen, and I want it to be driven by the characters, not just random happenstances.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't even be by the villain. It hasn't even been by the villains lately either.
Yeah, it would be in this case. It would be by like Raven under duress.
Adam is the only one who's been telling people to do things.
Yeah, that's true.
Like say again, like
yeah,
like going back to last episode. What is Watts doing there? Didn't Salem tell him not to go and to make Tyrion a tail?
I think that was like do that, make Tyrion's tail first.
we already discussed that last episode.
Although something that would be kind of cool is if they go to confront Hazel. But anyway,
you cut off there.
Yeah, you did cut off there.
Something that would be kind of cool is if they go to confront Hazel and then Tyrion, but then we see Tyrion there with his new tail. He's just like, "Remember me?"
No.
That might be kind of cool.
Why wasn't Tyrion the one to try to buddy up with the White Fang? I mean, I know he probably would not be effective, but I mean,
he's not a diplomat. I guess
he would have at least gotten in the door.
Yeah,
on his own.
With less, with less of the you have 5 minutes that you're not actually going to get to use because Adam's an idiot.
It's like no, Sienna.
And Hazel's like, I could beat up everyone in this room, including you, Sienna and Adam.
Yeah, Tyrion probably would have just killed her himself, and just be like, no, it's not going to be you, Adam. It's going to be me.
No, I'm the leader of the White Fang.
I am the
bow to Goddess Salem. Anyway.
So, you got anything else, Media?
Well, that's my predictions for these two parts.
Alright, dude, it is your turn.
Alright, can I first point out that Oscar was not in this episode, and this was the best episode out of the last, 4 or 5 episodes, so...
5.
5 episodes, so it's the best episode out of 5, because no Osctard. Now, I'll admit, I did say last week, watch Blake be in the next episode and it be the worst episode. But I'm glad I was wrong about that, and I was actually defending Blake this time. But I just have to point out, the fact that they did not... I am at least very happy that they did not feel the need to shoehorn Osctard into all those scenes with the girls.
Yeah.
I was very happy with that. I was even happy they didn't shoot into those scenes with the girls, in fact. Yep. You know, that was nice. They needed that.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised at that.
I'm glad how, for the most part, even last episode, they are treating Oscar as separate from the group. Even from Ren and Nora. Team RWBY is, one. Then you
he's
can
just taking Ozpin's place from the Beacon arc.
So I'm fine with that. So as far as predictions go, if they were normal writers, if I was writing this, given the fact that we had no idea that Blake's Perix existed before, given the fact that they have still gotten essentially zero background on themselves, they've gotten no progression. There's very little character development with them. I would. If it was me writing it, they'd both be dead. Easily. No question they'd both be dead. I mean, given how you would normally write things, there's no reason to actually care about them, except for that people just adore Callie. I'm not going to lie. I adore Callie also. But if from a writing standpoint, they'd both be dead. But because it's Rooster Teeth and their logic often is, ooh, look, new character that people are going to love. They might not kill them. So I say it's a 50-50 with this. I really can't call it either way. I want to say if one of them dies, I would think they should both die, though. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it would just make more sense to me that they get there and they're both dead. You know, that's what I would... That would be the most impactful thing. If Blake and Sun get there and everybody's gone and everybody's dead, that would be really impactful. And it would, it's not and it wouldn't be just shock value. That would make sense. It's set up. So that's what I would like to see. And then they have to well, we're getting the fuck out of here. And they go to Mistral or something like that. If not, then they escape somehow and they still end up at Mistral. So at least it seems to be finally happening that they're leaving. As far as the Bandit Clan goes, this might be a slightly unpopular opinion, but I don't care that much if the fight scene is skipped. I really don't, because all I care about is that they can remember what I said. I think this is what I said last week, that I care if they convince Raven that helping them is the best option for her. I don't necessarily want to be entirely by force. I don't really care about that, because clearly they can kick the crap out of everybody except for Vernal and Raven, which, by the way, that, like, talking about how the Bandit Clan's able to beat, I don't know. The Bandit Clan is kind of a disappointment. Raven's not, but the Bandit Clan certainly is. Like, for example, it would have been way better if Yang suffered some PTSD, ended up losing the fight against the guy, and she got dragged into her mom. Just saying, that would have been better. But either way, I think what matters is what I want to see is see them convince Raven that that she needs to help them, not try to force them. But either way, I want to at least see the decision made of, like, yeah, the Bandit Clan is forced to be on the same side / at least help the bad guy.
I agree with you, dude.
I want to get that by the end of the episode.
I would definitely like Raven to consider Cinder / Salem's offer.
Yeah. And yeah, as far as the rest of the team, again, why has Renora not made out yet? Like, seriously, not kidding. Why, again, don't give us all that character development and then not touch on it, because, again, not just because I'm a crazy Renora fanboy, but you did give us Black Sun stuff, which I'm glad about. Good. I'm glad. Thank you. They're doing a good job with that. I like it. I'm jumping more and more on that bandwagon, and I'm happy to. So that's great. I'm glad she trusted Sun enough to bring him this episode instead of just pushing him out again, which is what I thought she was doing. So, again, good job, Blake. Can't put more wine. Oh, that helped. But that's good. Also, Weiss's character progression is still happening. Also, fan-fucking-tastic. But then why'd you do all that Renora stuff? And then nothing. That honestly does not make sense. It really doesn't make any sense. Not just because I'm a crazy fanboy. I can give examples of other things where they need to do this too. Something, please. Like, you're just cock teasing us. So that needs to happen also. Also, can we please have Winter yet? Also,
can we have Neo? Are we supposed to get Neo this volume?
They never specified which volume.
They never actually specified which volume?
No,
I don't think they have. I think they just said in the future you'll see her. She's still around.
Oh no! I'll be honest. I'm kind of surprised we haven't got like an off tangent of like Atlas or anything like that.
Wow.
In honesty,
I don't know that we need that. But
I'm not saying that we need it. I'm just surprised that we haven't got it.
I think now we don't. I think right now it would be better off.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. I'm just kind of surprised as him, but it is Sock's turn.
Yeah, like I'm not sure Kali and Gira right now aren't very high, considering they're like on both sides.
That's another thing.
It's like they can watch each other's backs. It's like they are completely separate areas. So what happens to one, the other will not know at a certain time. I mean, because because if they were together, I could have seen like one with the guard, throwing himself in front of the bullet or whatever. With that, and that'll lead to one of their deaths. But I don't know. It's like on one hand, it's like I can see them both dying, but on the other hand, I can just see like either or dying. If it's Gira, then Blake has to take that mantle.
Yeah, if it's gonna be just one of them, it's gonna be Gira.
But if Kali dies and Gira is still alive, then he has the potential route to go through that whole like you just murdered my wife. And he's got that like deep-seated rage, and he starts going down a bit of a darker path where he starts following a little bit. It
would be more devastating for both the plot, the characters, and everything else if Gira is the one to die, because he's the more of the fighter, he's the leader, he's their chieftain, and also Blake kind of has daddy issues. Like there's a lot. Volume 4 implied that there's a lot more conflict between Blake and her father than Blake and her mother. And so there's going to be a lot more regret if Gira dies than if there's going to be a lot more conflict with Blake if Gira just dies than if Callie just dies.
Yeah.
True, but then there's that whole like, it's like, oh great, if a cat character brings out their claws, like it's just a Tuxen route thing, and everyone's just like, oh well, he's dead.
That's
But
why I'm
I'm
saying,
just
could they
saying
not
is that
just both die or both live? I'm just going with they should both die. If I was writing this, given, like I said, they both have very, I don't hate the characters. Although
Yeah,
I
I don't
did,
either.
like I said before, I hate that they exist. They shouldn't, given the way Blake was before. But given that they've been they were kind of relatively shoehorned into the show starting in Volume 4, and they still have very little progression or background development, anything like that. Given Pyrrha, given the way normal people write good books and things like that, this is who you kill off. You know, these are the characters. Them dying motivates the main characters, and it's not that big of a deal if they die. It's not like they're cucking us in any way, really. You know, so it's okay. So that's why I say both of them. Because if one of them dies, then we're gonna get too much of the other one becoming too important because my spouse died thing. It's that's sad in real life. It's just a show. I don't want another. They're gonna be more focused on it. I feel like if the one character that remains will become too focused on, and if they both live, then it's they're just parents.
The thing is, Callie's a fan favorite, so killing her off is running the risk of losing an audience that is sticking around for Callie.
Yeah, but there's such bad. They should. I know that's what I think they would do. But even if you're a good writer, it doesn't matter. You should just kill them anyway.
They Miles and Carrie live off their live off the.
I understand that if one of them dies, it's gonna be Gira. I can almost. They're not. If they're gonna kill only one of them, it's guaranteed gonna be Gira. They will not kill just Callie.
Yeah, I was just going over a potential route, but
think about how much of a fan favorite Pyrrha was, and they killed her ass. And how much of a fan favorite Penny was, and they killed her ass too.
I'll just say Penny was
Penny's a
more
robot.
fan
She
favorite
can
than
come
Pyrrha.
back. She could always come back, and it would make sense. And
I know,
Pyrrha was
but
always
I'm
going
just
to
saying.
die.
My point is,
why do people keep saying that Penny can't come back like that? She had a soul. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
Did
but
the
that's why it'd be
soul die,
complicated.
or
That's
was
why
it
it would
just
be
the body? See,
why it would be
that's
complicated.
that's an interesting existential crisis that they could explore if and only if they bring Penny back.
You can build
the whole thing. Yeah, that's the.
You'll build a Penny.
What is it? Well, and then what is a human soul? See, these are all these are all awesome existential.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with Penny is that
be explored in the show if they bring Penny back. Bringing Penny back adds so much
her
depth
back in
and
some
nuance and
form.
awesome thematic content to the show.
We built a Penny, but is it actually Penny though? Is it nickel or is it dime?
Yeah, bringing her
quarter,
back.
Hey,
or
if it's nickel, I'm suing.
Yeah.
Nickel Polendina.
Yeah. Because kind of what he's saying there. With Penny, she raised too many questions.
Girls.
Yeah, Penny raised way too many questions for them to not bring her back in some form. Maybe like a 2.0 version or something like that. But she raised way too many questions for them to just leave it like that. So, but yeah.
Hell, the thing is too. Also, okay, let's think way in the future here. Let's say that Ironwood gets his hands on a maiden for some reason, and this could be a whole plot point too, where it's oh, I have my hands on a maiden. I'm gonna soul transfer them into Penny 2.0 because I want to make sure that I have absolute control over a Spring Maiden powered Penny 2.0.
Yeah, and
or Summer Maiden,
or
Winter Maiden.
Yeah, just any maiden. I just said the
which
words.
Basically, why aren't the other maidens any kind of?
Well, I have a feeling that was the underhanded thing too. Also, of we're building all these robots so we can have more powerful maidens that we can control.
And that don't die. That we can just keep rebuilding.
Yeah, you don't have to find a new maiden. You just literally just have that one unless it gets disassembled.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Good plan.
Yeah.
It's a solid
keep
idea.
it in one spot as long as you can.
Yeah. Is it my turn?
Right.
Or?
I believe believe it's your turn, Robert.
Is it Sock's turn?
No,
Or were you done, Sock? Or
Go ahead.
okay, you sure? Or
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I do think that Gira is going to die. I don't know about Kelly. I think they might leave her alive, but she stays on Menagerie and stuff like that. But
I'd be okay with that. I would be okay with that.
Yeah,
She becomes the new chieftain.
Yeah,
yeah, like she sticks around to keep things calm over there because she's
comes back next volume to help lead.
I don't want the parent characters with the kids too much. Like
yeah,
because he's Crow and he's dope.
Kind of like how Tai Yang stayed in Patch. I would not mind her.
Yeah, I don't want.
Especially because we've seen that she's not a fighter here. Like they
pretty much proved that she's not the fighter.
Yeah, they've pretty much shown us that she is not a fighter and stuff like.
You cut out.
We've seen that she's not a fighter. We've seen that she barely knows how to handle. So yeah, I think I would say Gira dies. Kelly sticks around in Menagerie, and Blake gets, I don't know, some small militia together. I still think that's really weird though, but
I think it'd just be her and Son.
Yeah,
please just be her and Son.
Yeah, but I also think that I think Fennec and Corsock are also gonna die in this battle here, trying to take over. Like, well, I don't know. I feel like this is another one. Like, a part of me kind of wants to see what they would do if they escaped and started, trying and like retreated to Mistral and started trying to like manipulate Adam and stuff like that. Started, working for the cause and stuff, but at the same time, like, it kind of feels like they've shown themselves they have nothing like left to do. Almost, it feels like at this point it's pretty much do or die for them. But yeah, and then with and I think Ilya might also. Well, I don't know. Part of me thinks that maybe Ilya will die here too. And that will kind of be something to just further motivation for Blake to go and stop Adam because of what he's done and the lies he's spread. Although part of me almost wonders if she's going to go to Mistral and like go full yandere and like kill Adam to start getting rid of the competition for Blake or something. I don't know. I'd kind of doubt that, but anyway. And then as far as the Bandit Clan things goes. I don't know. What I really want is for, like, what I would have really liked for this last episode if RWBY was all like, or when RWBY kind of wising conversation, if RWBY good, because we gotta because we need to go and talk to your mom, Yang, and stuff like that. Like RWBY again. What we've been hoping for is RWBY being proactive and going and doing something, but. Kind of looks like that's probably not happening, so I am kind of on the side that I think...
That's what I called. Yeah. I said that she should, but it's not going to happen because they're not good at writing.
Yeah.
And they didn't do as much... what else did I say? They're going to hint at the assassination, but they're not actually going to do it yet. And I was right about that too!
Yeah. But I do think that this next episode... I hope we get the actual battle. I want to see the actual battle. I want to see, I really want to see Emerald, Mercury, and Watt kicking some ass and stuff like that. And,
I want to maybe see
Vernal try and maybe see Vernal try and fail to take on Cinder. And then, Raven, like you said, I do think, though, that, Raven's going to send Vernal through to Crow and Yang, maybe go through herself, and they're probably going to go to... Yeah, try and deal with Lionheart.
That would actually be interesting if they get away. I didn't even consider that as an option.
Well, yeah, and but I think I don't know. I could see that working out. Like possibly, like Raven, like Cinder tries to negotiate, and Raven's on, then tosses her. Yeah, and then they go and get away, and then they go to. I do think that they're gonna go to Lionheart, and this is gonna I don't know. The timeline is once again going to be wonky because I'm guessing the White Fang is going to go and attack Mistral or attack Haven, and then Yang's going to come in with an army like last second to save the day, and
Where's Yang getting this army?
Blake.
Sorry, Blake.
She's not going to get an army. That'd be stupid.
I don't know. Yeah. Or maybe Wise does realize, hey, I know where my sister is. Because, again, we do need winter.
We do need winter. Winter is dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so dude, you said it's stupid, but that's probably why they're going to... That's probably why we should be expecting it.
Expecting what? Are we going to be expecting?
Blake bringing an army?
God. If Blake brings an army to save the day, if Blake literally leads the charge of the riders of Rohan at Minas Tirith...
I was thinking more like Aragorn bringing in that ghost army in Return of the King.
Oh, that would be good too.
Except she brings an army of arachnid faunus because they are the dominant.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into the genetics thing.
What about R2D2 and C-3PO leading an army of teddy bears in Return of the Jedi?
Oh yeah,
I was fine with that.
You said I couldn't help but think of Return of the Jedi.
You've heard my rant. You know what I think of that.
I know. We did this.
I was fine with it.
We had this podcast.
It's okay.
I still have my Millennium Falcon shirt.
I do not like the Ewoks. Enough said.
The new Star Wars movie is coming. What, the 14th?
Yep. No, we already have all that. Yeah. We're all planned out for that. Yeah,
I'll be able to see that by the time the
God, I saw someone post about it.
I got my tickets for the Saturday, the 16th.
Less than 2 weeks. We're less than 2 weeks away from The Last Jedi. I was like, oh my gosh, already almost here.
Hypity.
Ragnarok. I'm probably
my body is not ready.
Dude, there's so many movies. I still haven't seen Thor Ragnarok. I still haven't go yet. Oh my god.
The only thing I really want from this video is I want Poe and Kylo Ren to dogfight, and then Poe to be able to somewhat keep up. That's all I want.
I would love that too. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
He is supposed to be like the best pilot that the Resistance has, right?
Yep.
He got like a triple or quadruple ace in like 30 seconds. Okay, so he's pretty good.
We'll be talking about The Force Awakens pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So.
Oh, speaking of which, you got to tell us what podcast we're doing this week.
I think we're going to do The Force Awakens. That way we can do The Last Jedi the Wednesday after it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, does anybody else need to do predictions for RWBY?
I think we're good, right?
Nope. Everything.
We're done.
Probably everything I was going to say. I probably said last podcast. So.
Yeah, because it kind of like really switched gears with this episode, and I like the gears.
I don't want to say switch geared. It found the right gear.
So I guess we're ready to wrap up and do our plugins. All right, if you like this video and you want to hear more of us, we do 2 podcasts every week. I want more people to watch our Beyond podcast because they do not get any love.
I know, and they're good. I promise. Not just because I'm in them. They're good.
I promise.
We're talking about things that
you don't necessarily have to watch these podcasts. You can just listen to them while you're like cleaning your room or lifting weights at the gym or like cooking dinner.
I mean, I listen. That's what I do. I'm the one person who doesn't really know that much about Star Wars. Like, I watched like the first couple movies. I don't know anything. I still listen to these, and I learned so much from just like watching
me nerd out.
Watching us complain.
Dork.
Yeah, like I'm just like
complain about them
these
so
characters
much
that I don't know exist, and you're just like pulling these plot points. I'm like, cool, spoilers, awesome. I'm understanding more and more about your culture. Okay,
Star Wars and Naruto.
But hey, you'll get to hear us talk about things that don't frustrate us constantly.
Star Wars and Naruto are probably the 2 things I nerd out about the most in my life. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I also do RWBY reviews, the occasional other video. You can check out my fanfiction, the RWBY On fanfiction series. RWBY On Home kind of hit a lull because of finals. I took a break, tried getting back into it this weekend, and I'm not ready to get back into it. So I don't know when the next chapter is going to come out.
You know what's great about being in trade school is that I don't have to really worry about finals because all I have to do is thread this part.
I mean, same with the education. It's all just making lesson plans and unit plan proposals and presentations. And I haven't actually had a written final in like 3 years.
I mean, I consider as long as I come home with all my fingers from class, I'm in good shape.
Yep. Cool. And so yeah, I plugged it last week, and by the time this is out, I will have finished. Yeah, the first video on my new YouTube page will be out by the time this airs on. By the time this airs, my first new video will be out, which is entitled "Character Interpretations: Ratatouille's Anton Ego." So please check that out if you want to hear me sound less frustrated about things and hear me be passionate about things. Hopefully, so yeah, and hope you guys will enjoy that. And I think can we include a link to that one when this comes out, media?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Just provide me with the link.
All right, I will provide that link. So thank you.
And we also need to plug the Discord.
Yep, please join the Discord.
And the Facebook group.
And the Facebook group. And because we always like having more people on. If you're not a first member, you can still join. We got all the spoiler stuff all segregated out. So, good to go. And I enjoyed this episode, and I just hope that all the other episodes will be good. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Yep.
On my final note, Yang, Weiss.
Oh no!
Freezer Baron?
No.
I'm done. I'm done.